Welcome back to the Valley Sports Plug Arizona Cardinals Week 3 recap for Sunday, September 25th, 2022, where the Arizona Cardinals disappointingly lost today 20-12 here at home against the Los Angeles Rams. Just diving right into some of the stats today. A lot of plays. The Cardinals ran 81 plays, had the ball for the majority of the time, 33 minutes as opposed to the Rams' 26 minutes. Kyler Murray threw a lot of yards, 314 yards for 0 touchdowns, only 2 carries today for 8 yards. There were actually no touchdowns thrown today. Matthew Stafford also with no touchdowns, 245 yards respectively. Back on the Cardinals side, though, James Conner returned for 13 carries, 39 yards, not much of an impact. The real story here is Hollywood Brown and his 14 receptions for 140 yards. Him and Kyler are really finding that chemistry out there. Greg Dortch also 9 receptions for 80 yards. So receiving out there, they're catching the passes, just couldn't get it in the end zone. The Cardinals' leading scorer today, Matthew Prater. The Los Angeles Rams, Cam Akers, 12 carries, 61 yards. He had a fumble late that looked like it might give the Cardinals some life, but to no avail. Cooper Kupp still managed to get in the end zone with a rushing touchdown on a 20-yard carry. Got some disappointing missed tackling, some lazy plays out there, a lack of urgency down the stretch, and again, starting slow from the Arizona Cardinals. Man, Tallman, tell me, what was your takeaway from the game today?
So my biggest takeaway is yet again, here we are starting slow, super slow. We have yet to even lead a game in regular time. Yeah, we won the Raiders game, but we're only tied, during the regular time in the game. We haven't had a lead at all yet this season. We're going to start week 1. We went 14-0. Raiders were 20-0 at halftime. And in this game, we're 13-0. So the lack of consistency here with the team is just so sad to see. All those drops today, what was it, 6 or 7 different drops by receivers and tight ends and the running backs? That was horrible. The lack of urgency as well, and in that last possession of the game, uh, I was watching it with you, Chris. That game, it was so bad at the end. It was almost like the coach didn't know what he was doing. We've run into that before where sometimes Cliff Kingsbury makes questionable calls. Maybe they should have kicked that field goal and taken those points, or at least given him a chance to make that field goal. I don't remember how long of a field goal that would have been when they went for it on 4th and 4 and got it knocked away when they tried to force it to Marquise Brown. But hey, you would have had the same result if you would have missed that field goal. So at least give yourself a chance. Being 20-12, going in to try to score on that last possession that also took you 7 minutes, that would have looked a lot better than having a 2-possession game and basically wasting all the time at the end, having no urgency. I didn't see anybody run into the line until there was like 3 minutes left. So it was disappointing. I still don't understand why we're not throwing the ball down the field when you're down 2 possessions. It's like, are we even trying to win the game? I have no idea. I don't know what the coaching staff is doing. Like, give yourself a chance to win the game. It's a bunch of dink and dunk. Let's just 5, 6 yards, 7 yards. Yeah, we're getting the first downs. We're driving it down the field, but yet again, we're eating up the clock, and you're not giving yourself a chance to win the game. So I think that's the biggest takeaway is, what are we doing? How about we try to win? Throw the ball down the field. Give yourself a chance to win that game against a division opponent at home. It was a very, very winnable game, but we didn't even try. Didn't feel like we even tried.
No, not at all. To highlight that lack of urgency, I even noted it, like you said, when we were watching it together. They got that huge turnover with 7 minutes and 30 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Plenty of time to still, go down, try and score even 3 to 7 points and then get the ball back without having to do an onside kick. But you made the point and noted that it seemed like they were playing for the onside point. Like I said, got it back at the 7:30 mark. I noted again at 3 minutes and 30 seconds. So ran 4 minutes off, really only got 30, 40 yards, I think, driving at that point. These were really long, prolonged drives where 81 plays in the entire game. We got it all the way down under the 2-minute warning with 1:07 left. kicking the field goal to make it 20-12. So at that point, with only 2 timeouts also, there's no way you're not going. It's onside kick or nothing. And we were trying to find the stat on our way back. It's somewhere between, it seems, 15 and 25%, the success rate of an onside kick. So it's really gambling, 1 in 4, 1 in 5 odds that we're going to be able to recover that. And even still, the offense hadn't really been making an impact. I mean, Mike, is this kind of the same type of stuff you were seeing out there? What was your perspective on it?
So I'm not going to do what you all think I'm going to do, which is flip out.
Don't worry. I'm not going to do what you all think I'm going to do, which is just flip out.
You know, we're not there yet. We're still at the mantra, not too high, not too low. The one true thing that we know about this Sean McVay-led Los Angeles Rams team is they have our number. The Rams are now 11-1 since the McVay hiring going back to 2017, with the Rams averaging 30 points to our 14. Kyler Murray is now 1-7 lifetime against the Rams, averaged 219 passing yards per game. Excluding today, 7 touchdowns to 8 interceptions in all of those games. So slow start once again, putting yourself behind the 8 ball. We actually finally started with the ball this time, but we go 3 and out and get a blocked punt, putting them right at the 35 to give them, great starting field position and give them the momentum right off the bat. Within 3 minutes of the game, AJ Green goes down, is hobbling. So we lost our basically one deep threat that Tallman was alluding to, and we basically just kind of stuck to those 10-yard outs, the dink and dunks, and it moved the ball up and down the field, but we just never had the space to really explode on offense at all. Tough. You could go and look at Hollywood Brown tying the Arizona Cardinals franchise record of 14 receptions, but it was with 10-yard average. I mean, because they were so far off of him, they were basically giving him that the whole time and said, okay, well, you can have that, but get down to the red zone trying to do something. We couldn't do it. We're going to talk about what was the focus point of this offseason was our secondary. Marco Wilson is unable to get it done. On the goal line, gets juked out of his cleats by Allen Robinson, and he drops an easy touchdown. The next play, Marco Wilson has a ball hit him right in the chest, and he drops it. Good players, when they make a mistake, they come back the next time, and they make the play. So he's not the guy. The other guy, Jace Whitaker, I don't want him on the field anymore. The only reason why last week we were able to get that forced fumble by Isaiah Thomas is because Jace Whitaker couldn't make a tackle. He can't make tackles. He can't guard guys on 5-yard crossing routes. It was just atrocious on that end. The good thing is we did keep Cooper Kupp, bottled up to some extent. I know he had a 20-yard run play to the outside where he took to the house. We seem to struggle against those screen plays as well. I don't know what's going on. But the theme of this team right now is let's start as slow as possible. Let's have the least amount of yards that we possibly can and have to fight back the entire game. And today was a very winnable game, but we seemed confused. And the last thing I'll say is shout out to Chris. Tell Mike they can't leave points on the board anymore, because the way that we were driving this whole entire game and the extended amount of time it took, I do not understand how you could not put this game into a 1-possession game and then hopefully get your stop and bleed the clock like you were, because we weren't being able to punch it in and it was taking so long to get up the field. It was just poor decision-making, and the lack of urgency is becoming a concern, exactly like you guys said. So not too high, not too low, but we're getting close. We're getting close.
Yeah. And there's going to be a lot to clean up. Like you said, the lack of urgency, the special teams, the drops, both sides of the ball. we're going to need to see that type of stuff tightened up, or it could be a rough season. But like Mikey's saying, not too high, not too low. The Cardinals are 1-2, heading out east to Carolina to take on Baker Mayfield and the Panthers. We got a bad taste in our mouth from last season taking on the Panthers, so I hope that we can really turn it around, get back to 500. But for Michael Benjamin and VSP Tallman, this was your Arizona Cardinals Week 3 recap here on Valley Sports Plug, and we'll be back here next week for Week 4. Peace.